Joined now by Jason Box, Managing Director of the Glover Park Group. It provides, in part, public opinion research and message development. Well, the billionaire businessman Donald Trump just basically steamrolled over everybody, wins big tonight. Does this cement things for him? I know they keep talking about this magic number, but does it sort of cement things?
Well, he has to make a case to the delegates who are going to show up in Cleveland in July that I am the candidate. I'm the only candidate. I'm the person who the majority of Republicans have voted for. He hit a big number yesterday in public opinion polling. He hit 50% of Republican support. That's what he needs to go into Cleveland and say, I'm your guy.
It seems interesting, though, because the goal line keeps moving for Donald Trump. Earlier it was like, well, once we clear the field, he's going to get killed. And once this happens, he's going to get killed. And now it seems like now the word is Indiana. They keep saying, oh, Indiana's like kind of the fail-safe. And this Kasich-Cruz coalition to try and stop him, did that backfire on them?
Well, it didn't. It couldn't work for three reasons. One, it was never going to work. Kasich has no money, so the idea that he's going to stop campaigning somewhere doesn't really matter a whole lot. Two, it should have happened about 3 months ago. And three, they don't even themselves buy it. The day after they made this truce, Kasich was out there telling people, well, I'm not really going to compete in Indiana, but if they want to vote for me, they should.
Let me ask you about Hillary Clinton. Looks like it's going to be a big night for her as well. Any surprises this evening?
No, I mean, I think that Pennsylvania and Maryland were the two big states for her tonight. I think in both states she did extraordinarily well. But again, the problem or the way that the Democratic delegate fight is set up is that there is no such thing as a big win. She could win by 20 points in Pennsylvania, and she looks like she will win by 20 points in Maryland, and she's only going to escape with a few more delegates. So that just keeps Bernie Sanders lingering in the wings.
Bernie Sanders saying tonight, look, if you look at the polling data, I do better against Donald Trump, better than Secretary Clinton, kind of making the case for himself. But the case is delegates, isn't it, in the bottom line?
It's all about delegates. He wanted to be able to say to these super delegates, I'm really the most viable candidate, despite the fact that he's losing the overall vote count by well over 2 million votes. He has to make a case to those guys that I can win, but none of the evidence really supports that.
Let's talk a little bit about Donald Trump getting international support. One of Italy's leading right-wing politician, Matteo Salvini, not only comes out in favor of him, he has pictures posted online with him and Donald Trump. Is this a help or a hindrance?
I don't think it really matters much. I mean, I had to even look up this guy's name when I first heard about the article. I had no idea who he was. I'm sure most American voters don't. Whether it's Salvini or Nigel Farage or Le Pen, right? Those wackies exist. The right-wing support is going to come out for Trump, but in an American election, American voters don't care.
Let me ask a final question. Things have gotten very negative between Sanders and Clinton. Yeah. You look on the Republican side, Lying Ted, Little Marco, all of the kind of fractured contest on the Republican side. As we get into these conventions, do both of these parties really have to kind of stitch things back together again?
Well, the election could really go in two directions. It could be an utter bloodbath. It could be really a race to the bottom. They both have incredibly high negative numbers, so they can't really drive each of their negatives any higher. I think particularly for Donald Trump, his challenge is to maintain strength within his own party. I personally am related to Republicans who simply aren't going to vote for the Donald Trump who's been campaigning in this election thus far. He has a greater burden to become a more tolerable candidate. I think Hillary Clinton is going to do what she's been doing, which is going to appeal to a broad swath of voters, black, white, male, and female, moderate to liberal, and I suspect she's in a better position coming into the fall than he is.
Well, it's going to be very interesting, as it has been throughout. Thanks so much for joining us.